What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Variant, the podcast. What's up, Tim?
What's going on, Arris? With greetings, Variant Nation. We are back here in the saddle again to talk some Disney Plus Day.
And I am disappointed, underwhelmed, don't have many words.
There's one key reason why I think both of us are the most disappointed, because there was some cool stuff, but underwhelming is a good word. It was a very hyped, there was a lot of, I guess some of it, to be fair, was rumors that we were going to get this or we were going to get that. Disney did not officially say, we're releasing this, that, or the other thing. Fans and rumor mills got to churning as per usual. And so we got our hopes up. And so, but having said that, it's also fair to say that Disney promoted this as a big deal. And while they did do a big content dump onto Disney Plus itself with a bunch of new things like Shang-Chi landed today, along with a slew of other series and docuseries and blah, blah, blah. The news that came out of Disney Plus Day was very underwhelming. But there's one main thing that I think both of us are disappointed on, and that is
the lack of Star Wars.
The lack of Star Wars content. It was kind of shocking, actually.
There was only, I guess there's two things. The Boba Fett documentary that's coming out right before, obviously, the Book of Boba Fett series. And then the 1 minute behind the scenes clip of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. It was a featurette.
Yeah.
That had a bunch of content, like concept art.
Really cool. We
Incredible.
got him of Obi-Wan fighting Vader, which was freaking amazing. We got them talking about Vader, how the director Deborah Chow was saying, obviously we couldn't do a Kenobi series without having Darth Vader, so he's going to be a prominent part of the series. And awesome. And that's one of the series that might be my most excited Disney Plus series for next year, for 2022. But Obi-Wan, yeah. But man, I wanted more. It's cool, but I wanted footage, man. Like this concept art and stuff was. But you know what it is because like we saw concept art, which again is dope. But they basically told us what we already knew. We knew Darth Vader was going to be in it. We knew it was an Obi-Wan series. Like we knew all this stuff. Some of the concept art showed like that the Jedis are being hunted, but and stuff like that. And we saw what the cities are going to look like and the vastness of probably what it's going to be. But it's just concept art. It was
our first look. It was our first look at concept art, and it did tell us some things that we did not have confirmation on. It was just speculated.
Sure.
One of which had me like jacked up, which is that the concept art really confirms how prominent a role Darth Vader is going to play in this series.
We didn't know how much he was going to be in it. Yeah.
Exactly. We knew that he was likely to appear. Well, we knew he was going to appear because they had already told us that the two were going to confront each other. We just didn't know how prominent a role, how big a role, how central he was going to play a role in the series. And based on the concept art, that's what the series looks like it's going to be about.
Well, I don't know what's true or what's not true, but I just read today that it was originally a 6-episode series and now it's a 4-episode series. So I don't know what, there's been lots of things going around with this where Kathleen Kennedy, was having some friction with the writing and the crew and even going into production as early as it did. So I don't know what's going on.
It's interesting.
But it looks, it's Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen reprising the roles as Anakin, Obi-Wan, or now Anakin's Darth Vader, obviously now, because it takes place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So, man. I just wanted a trailer. Like it again.
Yeah.
The little bit we saw, some cool confirmations. Concept art looks dope. We got a feel of the worlds and stuff. But I just wanted footage.
I wonder if they're waiting to give us footage and maybe a trailer around the release of Boba Fett.
Maybe that's another reason why I'm so disappointed, because this has been in production for months. It's not like I think they might be. I don't quote me on this, but I think they're close to being in post. They're like maybe done with the majority of the shooting.
Yeah,
so
I don't know where they're at.
It's but either way, you're shooting for months. If the Batman could shoot for 1 month and give us a 2-minute trailer, you're trying to say you can't give us at least a minute or something they've been shooting for, I know, at least 2 months. So it's like, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm with you. I really wanted to see like everybody. I think we were all anticipating to see at least a teaser out of this. But another positive, more optimistic way of looking at this is maybe the series is so riddled with like fan service and big spoilers, there's not a ton they can show us just yet without really giving up some of the biggest aspects.
But I thought that's what the point of Disney Plus Day would be, to be like, oh, they're going this way. Oh, they referenced Darth Maul. I thought that was like the point of Disney Plus Day.
Well, they did that. I feel they did a pretty serviceable job with that in the Marvel side. Although even on the Marvel side, it was slightly underwhelming, but still we got a lot more.
Way more.
From the Marvel side. Some really cool stuff that we're going to go into here in just a minute. But the Star Wars side, shockingly, thus far, unless they decide to drop something else, like late today, or at some other time associated with, maybe the release of Boba Fett or something like that.
But that was the thing too. I guess that should.
Anything around Lucasfilm was just like pretty much null and void, other than Obi.
That should have been the warning sign too, because I told you last week when they released the Book of Boba Fett trailer, I was like, why would you not just wait another week and release it on Disney Plus Day? That makes no sense. So clearly, there's something like why they didn't want to announce a lot of Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus Day.
Yeah. Well, the thing and we talked about this briefly before we came on, was the thing I find the most odd about it is not so much that we didn't get a teaser for Kenobi, as much as there's because a lot of the speculation is that they didn't do that because there's a lot of things in flux in the Lucasfilm, and they're still sorting out scheduling and what direction they're going. We know that they had announced the Rangers of the New Republic. That's been scrapped. We know that, Patty Jenkins, what is it? Was it Squadron?
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron has been indefinitely delayed. So we know that that's kind of the speculation, but there's a lot of Star Wars content that's either already been in production or is in pre-production, is well underway, that they know that they're making. Like, for instance, I was shocked that we didn't see or get something on Andor. I was shocked that we didn't get something on where we are at with the Acolyte. I was shocked that we didn't get some kind of an update on where we're at with the Ahsoka series, on where we're at with Kenobi. We already know is like we didn't get much more, but where we're at with Mandalorian Season 3. So there's a lot of things that are fully underway that they know for sure they're doing. They didn't even touch on. So that was what I thought was the most odd. So it's like, if they didn't want to go further out, fine. I was just shocked that they didn't give us any.
Maybe they're planning on doing something separate for Star Wars on its own day that we don't know of yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. And like I said, maybe they're waiting and holding back a little bit to, around the Book of Boba Fett, or to reveal as the Book of Boba Fett wraps up, to be the tease for kind of the next
thing. How I feel? I feel like how everyone felt for the No Way Home trailer, where they're like, we want it. Oh, like, I just want a Kenobi trailer. I just want one. And can we just point out that when they announced it at the Disney investor meeting last year, it was like the title card even said Kenobi. I guess the series has now been changed to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, yeah.
So obviously that's his full name. I told you, I personally think Kenobi sounds cooler for a show title than Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I'm curious to see why they even made that little change. It's like, Kenobi, no, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it just looks better as a title.
Yeah, it's more recognizable.
I do think that the graphic that they went with does look cooler than the original one that they, that they released. I don't think, for me, I just feel
it's just interesting to me, like those little changes, especially hearing with all the camps and feud. I'm wondering if it was just something where it's like, they changed it because they're like, I'm the boss, so it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Who knows? Who knows? If we have all kind of surmised anything from the last few years of Star Wars, is that there is a lot of politics going on at Lucasfilm for the last few years. And I mean, they're still churning out content like crazy, so it clearly can't be overwhelming. But there's been a lot of smoke around that, for a few years now.
I'm curious to see what when we get more announcements. Because like you said, that was a year ago. There are a bunch of those. Acolyte is another one that I think is in pre-production.
And we've got, Mandalorian Season 3 is just underway in production, so I wasn't expecting to get a trailer or anything for that, but at least some kind of a status update of when we could expect to see it. I know everybody is anticipating that.
What they freaking did for Fandom, where like Aquaman 2 currently filming, like all this Shazam currently filming, like all this stuff, like they just gave behind the scenes snippets with little, like that would have been completely fine.
That's what I was expecting.
Nothing.
The other thing that I thought was weird, and again, we're going to get into the Marvel stuff and some of the other cool stuff that they rolled
But we
out.
have to get into the Marvel stuff because there's no more Star Wars stuff to talk about.
Well, the other thing, just as far as the way that they rolled out Disney Plus Day in the first place, I thought it was a little weird. Like there was no real presentation. And the times were kind of like you didn't really know when anything was going to land.
It turned out to be more of just a celebration of the streaming service.
Well, they rolled most everything out. I shouldn't say most everything. They rolled a lot of things out on social media.
Oh, they're not. Yeah.
Across all their social media platforms, which I get it. It's to, they're trying to garner new to new followers and so on and build their follower base on social media.
For sure.
I totally get that. But from a fan standpoint, a viewer standpoint, it was a little bit like all over the place to try and generate buzz. Like you didn't know when it was going to land on Disney Plus. You didn't know what was going to land on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It was, we were like for days, we were trying to find like a solid schedule of what they were doing. And it was just kind of,
I can't believe
it was
I'm saying
a little bit erratic.
But I feel like as far as presentation goes, they should have taken a note from Warner Brothers and DC Fandom and done something like that.
Yeah.
Now, given
maybe this was an experiment.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe that wasn't their intent. It was just to like, hey, Disney Plus Day. We got a bunch of new shows launching today. It's a Friday. We got a bunch of new movies. Shang-Chi's on there now.
Yep.
Jungle Cruise is on there now. We got Boba Fett documentary. Just you could if you subscribe today, you get the first month for $1.99. Like it was just to promote the platform and be like, look at all the new stuff we have coming. Don't you want to subscribe? Right. It seems like it was kind of like that as well to also drive up their social media presence because if you wanted to get all those updates from all that stuff, you had to follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth. Yeah. So maybe that was their intent. Yeah,
it could have been just as simple as this was just kind of an experiment for them. They were trying something new. They were.
I like
trying
the Investor
to use
Day better though. I will say that.
The presentation format, I think, serves these type of things a little bit better, or maybe it's just that's what we're used to. I don't know. Whatever. The point is we didn't get much for Star Wars.
No.
But for Marvel, on the other hand, we got quite a bit. Not as much as we wanted or thought, but we did get quite a bit. And I want to start with the extended scene that we got for Hawkeye.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, man, that was...
I've been talking... I don't know if I've been talking crap. I've just been saying, like, I haven't been the most excited for Hawkeye. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah, you've been slightly underwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not saying I don't want to see it or it's going to be dumb. I'm just like, yeah, because Hawkeye, he's, like I said, he's good in the movies. He has some really funny moments, stuff like that. But he's not, he's not Captain America or anything like that. So, but I think from seeing that clip, that car sequence that they showed with him and Kate Bishop on that 14-minute Marvel Studios 2021 thing, their little sizzle reel that they put on Disney Plus, it looks really. I'm maybe pleasantly surprised if the entirety of that series is pretty much what that trailer is showing us. If it holds up is as good as that trailer, it could beat out Loki for me, which is my current favorite.
Oh my,
favorite Disney Plus series. I'm saying if this series is as good as that trailer is consistently, for sure.
That's a heavy lift going into this
because
series.
it would be diehard superheroes mixed with Christmas and just fun. I mean, that clip was really good.
Yeah. No, it was like that faux runner in the car where the camera's just turning around, spinning around and it's showing the people that are chasing them and then them. It was really well put together, very cool, very entertaining, and the Christmas theme with the Sugar Plum Fairy, score. It was very cool and extreme, way more Die Hard than even we saw
the action
from the original
insane.
Trailer. Like just it reeked of like that cool Die Hard action Christmas.
It's the action that I prefer, where I think that's why if it holds up to what that clip is showing us, it would be my favorite because Winter Soldier is one of my favorite movies. Right. The fight scene between Winter Soldier and Steve Rogers in the street with the knife and stuff. I love that type of Bourne like stuff, which is why I like Black Widow so much because I had a lot of those kind of fight sequences. So, but this Hawkeye, I mean, they're using arrows to jump off bridges. They're like car chases, like running through the street, jumping through buildings. I'm like that ground level, but still like fantastical stunts. Right. That's my alley, man. I love that stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and
it's like Batman-esque, right? Like Batman jumping off of buildings. I'm like, that's where I live.
That ground level,
but still like really like extreme.
Yeah. Well, I've been speculating for a couple of months that this could sneak up on everybody.
It could. I feel,
and it could be a sleeper. And
trying
after this,
I'm trying not to get my hopes up at that trailer.
You don't want to overhype it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be like, because obviously they could just show the best part.
Yeah.
That could be like easily just the best scene in all of the series. But if everything's like that, I think we got a sleeper.
Well, it wasn't just that scene. They showed an extended trailer too. So there was a bunch of scenes cut together and it just looks really fun.
Curious.
Really fun.
I am excited.
We're going to get that here very soon.
I think the first
in less
than
2 weeks.
First
two episodes.
First two episodes.
Yeah, first two episodes drop on Thanksgiving, actually, the day before Thanksgiving, actually. So that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So that was like one of the big ones for me. But then they actually let off. Well, I shouldn't say they let off, but one of the big news that dropped very early on was a little bit of a blast from the past that was shocking that you almost lost your mind.
That's probably even more so than Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I knew we were going to get something from Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I didn't. This was just a
total shock.
A total like bomb.
No warning.
They just dropped it on us.
Yeah.
Which is the X-Men 97 animated series.
The return of the 97 X-Men animated series coming to Disney Plus.
I want it.
Holy cow.
I want it. I'm a 90s kid. That's
Dude,
the most up my alley thing
I can already hear like
oh my God. There's only two things, because that would be three in my category. First is obviously Batman animated series. Second would be the 90s Spider-Man series. Third, X-Men, the animated series. Dude. So man. I don't even, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up. They showed like a little bit of what the animation is going to look like, which seems like it's going to stay true. But from what I've seen, I don't know if it's a direct sequel, if it's done just in the style, like what's happening. So I'm trying to maintain composure, even though I initially freaked out. But now I'm trying to be like, okay, all right. They let's just see. Let's just wait and see what they do with your childhood and so many of your childhoods out there.
Dude, yeah, for real. I mean, similar to we talk about Batman the Animated Series ad nauseum here on the show,
which is also getting a sequel of sorts,
which is also getting a prequel.
Loosely. We don't know if it's directly tied in.
Yeah,
it's the same creators.
But the fact is that, they're bringing so much of this stuff back. It's crazy, and the fact that this was a surprise and they just dropped this
in a tweet.
Yeah, that was a crap ton of fun, and that's going to be a really fun.
I thought that's
return. At least I hope.
I thought that's what Disney Plus Day was going to be in general. Like, well, they did tweet a lot of stuff, but a lot of like just bombs. I mean, they had several ones. Like, I guess the next one would be they officially announced a Marvel Zombies animated series.
Correct. Yes, they did.
Which that was my second.
Well, you were like, yeah, I want that as a series.
Yeah, no, without question.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be live action, but animation's dope too.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see if that's going to be in the same style as the What If series.
I'd imagine they'll just carry on right from What If.
And I wonder, like, how do you, like, are you, oh man, maybe like the comic book, like the Kirkman comic book where it starts off just with like they're already zombies and they're looking, but I'm also like, how do you make that, because it's Marvel's, they're eating flesh. Like the actual comic is like R-rated. Right. So it's like, how do you make that family friendly with still being true?
Oh, I don't think it's going to be a...
You what?
I don't think that's going to be considered, let's say, family friendly.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know how.
Because even the What If, episode for Marvel Zombie was easily one of the most violent things I've seen.
But it was still dumbed down for what the comic was.
Come out of Marvel, period, I'm saying.
But they still dumbed it down.
Yes.
So
I mean, you can't do what's in the comics to be rated R.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's Disney Plus, so they're never going to put anything that's, past PG-13. So I'm very, very curious to see how. I mean, that episode was great. So I guess if you just follow that,
I think that's what they're going to do.
I'm excited.
I think they laid the template down in What If, and then the fan reaction to it, solidified.
Hopefully they explore, I guess, how that happened. Yeah. And we see how Captain America and Iron Man and stuff like that.
Well, I shouldn't say it solidified it because they probably had this in the works for a long time, way before they released the What If episode.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of animated stuff. That was kind of shocking to me. We got because What If Season 2 is confirmed, which we all kind of knew, but
that one wasn't a shock.
They confirmed it. Another shock was Spider-Man Freshman Year.
Yeah,
which is Marvel Studios. It's in canon. It's going to follow Spider-Man, his first year being Spider-Man, apparently. And the art style of the cartoon is going to be very much in vein with like the Ditko stuff.
Which is back in the day. Super, super cool.
Right. So how often do we get like 2D animation stuff these days? Like barely.
Almost never.
Yeah. It's
and
like,
I'm a huge fan, going back to my childhood of 2D animation. Don't get me wrong, computer animation is obviously amazing. But there's an art form to 2D animation
Mhm.
that we've kind of like lost, and it just really doesn't exist anymore.
Mhm.
So I love it when anybody ever utilizes any form of it, even when it's that hybrid,
Mhm.
model. So that should be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I'm curious to see. Well, it takes place during his first year, so we know it's coming out after No Way Home.
Right.
So I'm wondering
Yep.
what the implications for that. I mean, I guess it doesn't really have any because again, it's a prequel series.
Yeah, and they're just filling in
but
gaps.
yeah, so they're taking a book out of Filoni's note, doing all the
That's
filling the gaps for
right.
Star Wars. They're like, hey, maybe we can fill in gaps. People like that stuff,
dude. And I'm actually pretty excited about that because we might actually get to see a little bit of Iron Man in there.
If
His
it's
relationship with Happy Hogan.
but it's got to be voiced by Tom Holland
I hope so.
because like.
I hope so.
I forgave them for the What If series because like he was only in one episode
Mhm.
or whatever. But I'm like, if you're doing a series and it's in the MCU, write Tom Holland that check because you need him to voice it. You better get that checkbook out.
I don't know because they don't have him under contract anymore. So I don't know. I mean, unless they're working something out on the side, but
Because
it'll be fun either way.
a part of what made What If so cool, in my opinion, is the fact that they got like 80% of the original voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
That was what made it feel like it was connected. Obviously, it is connected, but that's what really made it the synergy. Because like, oh, it's animated, but it's still voiced by the same people.
Yeah.
Like, that's Benedict Cumberbatch, that's Samuel L. Jackson, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, one of the other things that they confirmed, they didn't announce, it was heavily rumored, but they confirmed is Agatha Harkness.
Agatha, House of Harkness.
Yeah, House of Harkness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's confirmed. We really don't have a ton of details on it, but that's another one that they confirmed. And then we got first looks. This was the other big one for me. Well, first look at Moon Knight.
That's the biggest. Let me see. I don't know. The 97 one's pretty big, but it's. No, I guess I'm still. No, I don't know. I'm fighting with myself. The biggest two for me Marvel announcements, I think, was the 97 X-Men animated series and then Moon Knight, like you said. Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Moon Knight. I love Oscar Isaac. He's in recent years has become one of my favorite actors. Pretty much anything he's in now, I'm like, oh, it's Oscar Isaac. I'm going to watch that. And man, his portrayal in this brief clips we see,
So good.
He does two different voices because,
Yeah.
as we know, Moon Knight has multiple personalities and all that stuff, and you kind of see that a little bit. Him staring in the mirror, fighting with himself. You get like a Batman shot of Moon Knight jumping from building to building
roof to
with the
roof.
moon in the
Mhm.
background. Glimpses of his costume, not his face. You see the cape, you see the arm, you see like a little bit of it in the shadows, but they're going full. It's a white, straight white costume. I imagine it's also going to have the hood, the cool face with the eyes. It looks great. It's probably
You're here for it.
I'm here for it. Like out of all the live action stuff they showed today, that's what I'm most excited for, hands down. On the Marvel side.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think out of everything that we saw today, like actually saw and got something for,
Mm-hmm.
well, Moon Knight is one of the most anticipated for me, period. That of all the things that Marvel has announced.
People have been asking for a Moon Knight series for like years.
Forever.
I remember when we first started Variant in like 2012, I was like, how cool would it be if we got a live action Moon Knight?
Yep.
And here we are almost a decade later.
Here we are. Well, this first look, as you said, we see Oscar Isaac portraying Spectre, Moon Knight. We see him like do a couple of different voices,
Mhm.
Because we all know he's got the dissociative disorder,
Mhm.
identity disorder. And so he hears voices, but then you've got the God of Khonshu element in there.
Mhm.
We did not get a full
Nope.
look of him in his suit. You kind of got a rear shot of kind of closing in on him. It's somewhat dark, and he's kind of like pummeling
Mhm.
somebody.
Yeah.
But man, if this showed anything, because we didn't get a ton, but the look of it was cool. The tone of it was extremely cool. It was right in line with what I was hoping we were going to see. But the thing for me was the quick shots that we got of Oscar Isaac playing the character.
Looks great.
Man, that dude, we kind of lucked out because he's a tremendous, like top tier actor performer.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to be coming in to play this role where he's going to have like, dealing with multiple identities and all this kind of a thing, that should be a lot of fun to watch. And it looks like they're taking like a dark angle, the kind of dark angle that you would want them to take with a Moon Knight series
Yeah.
on it. So this was, as far as everything we saw from Marvel on these releases, that was by far my favorite. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I think, again, out of everything, because we got like Secret Invasion, Armor Wars, we got a lot of stuff coming up. As far as the new ones, not like the sequels, because obviously I want to see Loki Season 2. Obviously, I want to see, oh my God, what's the other sequel series that they announced? Loki Season 2.
What if Season 2?
What if Season 2? Wasn't there another live action? No WandaVision, no Falcon.
Well, She-Hulk. We got our first look at
That's not a
She-Hulk.
sequel, but yeah, we got our first
Oh,
look
you
at
mean
She-Hulk.
sequels
Yeah,
alone?
Yeah.
No. I don't think there was any other sequels that were announced.
Doesn't really matter. Point is, out of their live action slate on Disney Plus, I think Moon Knight is probably the one I'm most excited for.
I agree.
I think so, yeah. But
Yeah,
She-Hulk, like you said, we got footage of that as well.
Yep.
And
they were kind of back to back in that little
it's
special.
like a sizzle reel. They kind of went
reel,
into each other, because then that obviously went into Miss Marvel after that,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about. But honestly, I could even talk about She-Hulk and Miss Marvel back to back, because She-Hulk, I just want a Hulk series. I'm gonna be honest, 100% honest. I'm always honest with you guys. I would rather just a Hulk series. She-Hulk is fine, but I would rather a Hulk-focused series with She-Hulk appearing in it, not a She-Hulk series with Hulk appearing in it. I want it flipped, because we haven't. I mean, Hulk has appeared in stuff. He was in Ragnarok. He was in, the first 2 Avengers movies, Infinity War, all that stuff. But I feel like we only got Hulk proper in Whedon's hands, where like that rampaging classic Hulk that we know, where Hulk smash. That's my favorite Hulk. I like, the other interpretations of Hulk and stuff like that, but I don't like this Professor/Smart Hulk as much.
No.
They're using him too much. Like, I'm like, okay, revert him back now.
It feels very much like that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is like the handing of the torch.
The actual Savage Hulk, gone.
That's what I mean, because I feel like She-Hulk is probably going to be like a handing off, in the sense where it's like, oh, she's going to be like the main Hulk.
I agree.
In the MCU now. And it's like, all right, She-Hulk's fine, but I'm not a massive She-Hulk fan. I want the Hulk. I would imagine most people would want the normal Hulk. So we'll see. I mean, it could be good, but I'm just not like overly excited for it. I'm just like, I want to watch it. Could be good, but I'm just like, man, I wanted to like finally a series that just focuses on like the Hulk. And then we could have had her in it and had like our cake and eat it too.
I really wonder what they're going to do with She-Hulk in terms of how they're going to introduce her, how they're going to explain. We know about She-Hulk in the comics, but with the multiverse angle that they're breaking out in the MCU, I'm really wondering how they're going to introduce her. Is she going to end up being, is the spin for her going to end up being that she's from an alternate universe, and she's like just got her, her powers or whatever. She does not handle them. And then, Bruce Banner Hulk from the 616, the main MCU universe that we've all known, mentors and trains her. Cause that's kind of what it would look like in the sizzle reel. Was it looked like he was helping her. And okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about the Hulk. That's my favorite superhero. That's my favorite character. And I've long been saying, like, what they've done they've done the Hulk dirty in the MCU. That's just plain and simple. That's how I feel about it. I know that you feel pretty similarly to that. I know that they only have certain rights. They can't make a movie for him, but so I get that part. I get why they're not giving him his own thing and making him the phone. He has to kind of appear in other things.
True. Yeah, okay.
I do get that, but what I don't understand is why they went the Professor Hulk route, where he got his arm in a sling for 2 movies. But why you know what I'm saying? Like this whole route where they so dramatically like emasculated the Hulk. It was to where he's just like a weakling almost in terms of what the Hulk actually is.
Because that's another reason why I don't like Professor Hulk as much, because he's basically like at half the power. He's not as strong as, oh my gosh, Savage Hulk. There we go. Savage Hulk. So I don't know. Plus, I think the story is more compelling with Savage Hulk. It's more of like a monster story where like he's trying to contain the beast and people don't like him, but maybe they see he's doing good. So that it's like the whole Frankenstein thing where it's like, oh, well, he's like a nice monster. I like that way more than the I'm smart, but I'm also kind of strong, just not as strong as Savage Hulk. But even if, like you said, because the rights thing, I did forget about that. There is a lot of things where I guess they can't do a solo Hulk thing. So whatever. But you can still give us a Savage Hulk in this series with She-Hulk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a She-Hulk series with Savage Hulk.
Yeah, like why couldn't it have been a story where like the Hulk goes out of control and She-Hulk is brought in to contain him?
Right.
Why couldn't it have been something like that? The point is there's a lot of different things that you can do. And they demonstrated some of that in the first Avengers film, even Ultron. But they never really fully let Hulk, turned him loose or made him like a really big part of the storylines. And the first little while, first, I would say 6-7 years of the MCU, you excused it. You were like, okay, they're doing this bigger story, and but then they went the Professor Hulk, the weird kind of like he didn't know what to do. It all started with Ragnarok for me. That's when it really kind of started going off the rails.
I just really feel like it's a missed opportunity to not get like that World Breaker Hulk moment.
Yep,
like a story where he just loses it, and all the Avengers are like, Hulk, come back to you know what I mean? And he's like, no, and he's just freaking like literally breaking the world, hence World Breaker Hulk. So I don't know. It's just kind of lame that's not happening. Although his arm is healed in this series, we see that.
Yeah.
The clips we see it's after 2 movies.
Yeah.
Or 2 movies and a cameo, or whatever it is. Because even at the end of Shang-Chi, spoiler, he's still in a sling. But now he is no longer in a sling in the She-Hulk series. So that's a plus. We're working our way back.
Always look on the bright side. But yeah, I mean, we don't have it. They really didn't show enough for us to get any kind of a real idea of what She-Hulk would look. I don't know why. I'm wondering if this
They didn't show her head or the front of her.
They did not.
But what
they
did
started showing her for like kind of slowly,
super comic accurate
and then
from what they did show so far.
It looked a little bit, even the Hulk looked a little bit cartoony. A little bit in this, and
might not
we'll
be
see
the
what it looks
final-
like in the
yeah,
actual
they might still be
trailer and all that
finalizing
kind of
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, I'm sure they're very early on in the VFX. But the one thing that I'm wondering, I was like, is this going to be kind of like Disney Plus's Supergirl series?
Well, they said it's actually kind of like a comedy where you're going to see She-Hulk, she's a lawyer, deal with like court cases and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's going to be more of like 30-minute episodes like WandaVision style. I'm curious because they've only said that, in the past, but they didn't give us any plot details or anything. We just see that the Hulk is like helping her clearly, I guess, channel the beast.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. She-Hulk is like, she's never like raged out. She's always been like aware of herself. She's just gets taller, greener, and stronger, but she's like still pretty. She's just green and all that stuff. She doesn't turn like monster-esque.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how that, like what he's trying to teach her, because she's completely aware of her in the comics, at least she's completely like aware of herself as She-Hulk. So I'm like, what are you trying to teach her then? Like how to just transform? Or
because it sounded like he was trying to teach her how to control it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can she not just go in and out of it? Because again, it's not like stereotypical Savage Hulk when Bruce Banner transforms. He's like raw monster smash. She's fully aware of, she's normal. She's just strong now.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering what he's teaching her.
Yeah, and I kind of like, I was a little bit like.
Yeah.
when they use the Hulk's famous line, "Don't make me angry, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry."
Well, the way they did it was in a weird, like,
it was very weird, like they were doing an infomercial,
right? But also like from the 70s or 80s, it was giving me WandaVision, like, are they gonna go like a more artistic vibe with this? Like, to be very different.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we got a proper teaser or a trailer.
yeah. It was very brief, so there's going to be a lot of just speculating, but. We'll see how that plays. And then Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, where that's another character that I'm not huge on. I don't not like the character, but I'm not going out of my way to read the character. But I am going to watch a series, obviously. But just from the vibes of it, it seems like this is the first live action MCU thing that's like for kids. In a sense, like this is for your 10-year-old.
Like a Stargirl.
Right, exactly. Like it's very much like this one's for that audience,
right?
You know what I mean? Which is fine, because that's a great thing about the MCU. Like it has something for everyone.
Multifaceted.
Yeah, you want a heist movie, you want this. And so like now this is like the more family, younger audience oriented one. Which if that's the case, and it does play that way, it might be even a cool soft introduction for my daughter. So we'll see.
And I wonder if Ironheart is going to fall into that same vein, or if that will be like a slight media, maybe a touch up more like. You know what I mean? Like a teenage series or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Because that's still coming too. They didn't show us or give us anything additional on that, similar to I Am Groot, the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special and stuff like that. They kind of just...
A lot of title cards.
Yeah, it was just a lot of title cards, very similar to Investor Day from 2020 or whatever it was. So, we past that, the big headliners, obviously, were Moon Knight, the announcement of Marvel X-Men 97 rather. And
She-Hulk footage,
yeah, She-Hulk footage, and then of course confirming, What If Season 2, Loki Season 2, and all that kind of stuff, which we already knew. They confirmed
Agatha House of Harkness.
Agatha House of Harkness, and they also announced. I don't know if they had previously announced it, quite honestly, but the Echo series.
Oh no, that's a brand new announcement for today. Yeah.
So there's that too, and to be quite honest, I don't know a ton about it. Do you?
She's the Kingpin's daughter, but I don't. Again, not a character I've read a lot.
Right.
but it's kind of more definitely like a C-list character. So it's a they're definitely diving deep now that they have Disney Plus. They're like, we could do any character.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I did not. That's the one thing that I did not look at. Did they give any other details about it?
I didn't see anything. Literally just coming, you know. You would think, especially with like that title, not most people are not going to know like who the freak is Echo unless you're a comic book fan. So, you know, I am a big comic book fan, and even I don't know a whole lot about the character because I just haven't particularly like read a lot about her. Just seen her like in comics I've read from here and there.
I do see a brief post here from Marvel themselves, and the show is starring Alaqua Cox as Maya Lopez, but then that the character is first going to be introduced in Hawkeye.
Really?
It's saying. Yeah, they're saying the character will first be introduced in the Hawkeye series. So that's pretty cool. And then she'll get her own series sometime in 2022 or 2023.
So the one takeaway I will say that's interesting as far as like, that's a curious pick. I wonder why. It's because she's the adopted daughter of Kingpin. And she's also a one-time lover of Daredevil. So if you're bringing Echo in, does that mean... if her dad is freaking the Kingpin and she was once, you know, in a relationship with Daredevil, are they gearing us up for Daredevil?
Well, does that in any way confirm some of the rumors and speculations and even these leaked pictures that have come out about Daredevil being in Spider-Man No Way Home? The Netflix Daredevil.
Charlie Cox, DM me and let me know.
So, I mean, that's interesting at the bare minimum.
Yeah,
so
sure.
we'll see how that all plays out. But I mean, that pretty much, and you know, Secret Invasion, and there's a couple, but it's stuff that we already knew about. A lot of it. The big stuff was, for me, again, the biggest one was Moon Knight, and then on the Star Wars front, you had Kenobi. Full stop.
There's like the
full stop.
You had the Boba Fett like documentary, but that's not an announcement. They just released the documentary. So like. What won Star Wars? Kenobi. Why was it that good? I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool, but it was also the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, because everything else past that, I mean, they gave us the first look at the Baymax series, which looks awesome.
On the broader, like on the Pixar,
on
Disney
the bigger
side,
picture of things.
Yeah.
They gave us a first look at Baymax, which I was super stoked about.
My daughter's gonna love that.
Amazing. I love the Big Hero 6 universe and the characters, so I'm excited about that.
Ice Age is another one.
Yeah, they're bringing back Ice Age, and that's actually going to be created and produced by Disney Studios this time instead of Blue Sky.
Oh, because they own Fox now and all that
because they bought all of that. So that's interesting. And then, of course, like we said, they did that big content dump on Disney Plus today, which included Shang-Chi, The Jungle Cruise. There's a couple of docuseries, including this.
New Home Alone.
I'm not mentioning that. I'm ignoring
You're not going to watch it?
I am ignoring that.
I keep telling you.
It's dead to me.
I think I said it here when they announced that movie. It's probably not going to be great, but I'm going to watch it. I need to know. I need to know.
I will not. I will not desecrate.
You know what? I promise I will watch it, and then I'll come back on here at some point and let you know my thoughts, which they're probably not going to be great.
That's why I'm not going to watch it.
But that's just all the more entertaining.
No.
Be like, they made Buzz. Buzz is a cop, dude. They made him a cop.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. You can't make me, Disney.
Buzz's girlfriend. Woof.
But we got a couple of So The Wonderful World of The World According to Jeff Goldblum Season 2 dropped, which I'm excited about. I loved Season 1 of that.
Yeah.
But we got the Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett documentary. We've got Marvel
Sneakerella.
Assembly, The Making of Shang-Chi and the Ten
Sneakerella.
Rings. Oh, dear God. Who asked for that? Like, seriously, I want to know. Who asked for Sneakerella?
The amount of Cinderella content that's coming out this year from various companies is insane. Like, that's like the second or third like take on the Cinderella story this year. I think Amazon did one earlier. Yeah. Now we got Disney doing Sneakerella. And wasn't there a third one? I don't know. It's like when they do the Snow White movies. They had like the Huntsman and they had another. It's like, why did so many people like, oh, this is the year of Snow White, this is the year of Cinderella, and they released like 3 different versions of the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know why studios do that sometimes, where they try to compete with each other.
It's
with
so
the
weird.
Same remake of content
because they're doing like we know we're getting a Pinocchio with Tom Hanks.
Pinocchio.
And isn't Guillermo del Toro doing a Pinocchio movie as well? I believe he is.
Yes, I believe so. I don't remember.
Not Disney, obviously. That one's not Disney. It's just a fairy tale.
I believe that's still a go. It was before. I just don't.
Point
so many things have come and gone, and it was, and then it's not.
Why? What, you got Tom Hanks on one end, Guillermo del Toro on the other end. It's like those are a massive director, one of the most famous actors of all time. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you competing with each other?
Well, one, I guess it would depend on when they release, but two, those are going to be very different takes on that story. If you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro, let me say that again. If you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro, I can't say Guillermo del Toro. Whatever. That guy, if you're a fan of del Toro, there we go. I'll just say his last one. If you're a fan of del Toro, then his style is incredibly unique. It's like Tim Burton.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy.
When you see it, you immediately know who it is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very different. So I'll give that one a pass because those are going to be, his version and take on it is probably going to be really interesting. And Disney is
isn't like
Disney.
All those fairy tales, like even like the Little Mermaid, Pinocchio, weren't they a lot darker?
Oh yeah,
like the original fairy tales.
The original tales.
Them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna go the more book route, where Disney's gonna be like,
correct.
This is the magical amount. Yeah. Isn't it happy?
Especially when they get to like Pleasure Island. I imagine that's gonna get all kinds of weird.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm excited for that now. Okay, so yeah, make it.
I just changed your mind.
Make it.
There we go.
But I think that's pretty much, I mean, again.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
There's a new DuckTales, right? Not DuckTales.
No, DuckTales.
Rescue Rangers.
You have Rescue Rangers.
Darkwing Duck.
They're rebooting Darkwing Duck, and, they're doing, they redid that with DuckTales.
Cars on the Road.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of the Cars series, that looks like it's going to be cool. Owen Wilson is going to return to voice the cast, and I believe Larry the Cable Guy as Mater.
Get her done.
So I was never big on the Cars franchise, so that's cool. Like if you're a fan of the Cars franchise, I'm sure that's going to be awesome. Like the Monsters Inc. series they did.
Oh, that was great.
You've been watching. I haven't seen it yet. My kids have. They like it.
Now, given I probably enjoyed it a lot more than most because my daughter was also obsessed with it. So like I believe it was Wednesday, she would be excited to watch it. So it was like a thing over like the course of the 8 or 10 episodes. But even just on its own, like it's a direct sequel from the first movie. It picks up like 2 weeks after the first movie because yes, because the second Monsters Inc. movie was a prequel,
right? And
this Disney Plus series is a sequel where like now Sully and Mike are the CEO of Monsters Inc. And
which is
really
a fun concept.
Yeah, it's really funny. Now laughter is the power, obviously. So it's a good series. Watch it, especially if you got kids.
But yeah, so I mean, you can kind of tell like there was cool things that happened, but that's why we said right at the outset it was pretty kind of underwhelming in terms of like a full-blown content presentation of like, this is what's coming. And I think for me, in the end, I know I'm just going to kind of reiterate what I said. It was even, or I should say, in conjunction with the lack of some of the content we were expecting, like especially from Star Wars, it was the way that it was rolled out that made it less exciting for me. It was just not, it just wasn't rolled out in a way, I guess, that we're used to. And it was slightly underwhelming because you didn't know what was coming. And then when nothing did, it was just kind of like, that's it.
Kenobi.
Yeah, Kenobi.
I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. I'm like,
and we didn't see anything further on Boba Fett, which comes out in a little over a month.
They gave us a trailer last week.
Yeah, but any kind of concept behind the scenes, featurette, something.
Well, under the Boba Fett featurette that they released on Disney Plus.
That's true, but that is the legacy of Boba Fett. So
I wonder,
are they gonna show us? I guess it's probably that it is.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, Filoni, they're interviewing the man, the myth, the legend, Filoni.
I guess what I'm saying is for like a presentation day.
I'm gonna make a shirt.
It just was like.
I've decided.
The man, the myth, the legend.
It's just be Filoni's like silhouette. I'm like, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just gonna say the Filoni.
Just the man, the myth, the legend, and it's one of those things when someone is like acknowledges that you're like, yeah,
just a silhouette of a man with a cowboy hat.
Yeah, because it's like anyone who knows what it is, it's like we're friends. We're on the same wavelength.
we were talking earlier about that. We've seen recent pictures of Filoni.
Oh yeah, he's just a shoveled.
That man he looks like a man he's putting in some work.
They put him as the creative head of Star Wars, and now he's like, whew,
he's just looking all disheveled.
This is a constant battle, guys. It is a battle. It's a warfield. I got George on the phone.
You know what it reminds me of?
Kathleen's yelling at me.
It reminds me of Peter Jackson when he was doing the Lord of the Rings back to back to back.
Yeah.
And how they would show clips of him in like editing bays, barefoot with his foot up on the table.
Yes.
And he would just be falling asleep while they're trying to show him dailies and stuff.
The best part for that documentary was when he had to bring Bryan Singer in to like direct for 2 days because he was just like, he had to sleep. He's like, dude, it's going, the wheel's going. I just need you to keep the momentum going. I'm going to go nap. I need 48 hours for the love of God.
Someone help me.
Yeah. He's like, whose idea was it to shoot these all back to back? Yours, Mr. Jackson. Okay.
I'm fired. So funny. But yeah, he's looking like he's a man on that track. So God bless him. He's doing the Lord's work over there at Lucasfilm. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Yeah. So I guess all that to say, there was some wins, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But there was definitely some, really, you didn't show us that. And it was cool, but a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
hopefully
We were hoping to come here and just
Right.
like the roof had gotten blown off.
like
but-
fandom or something like
Right.
that. I to be fair, maybe that's just, that's our own expectations and that
Mhm.
was never the intent, but like especially coming off fandom like a month or two
Mhm.
ago and stuff, and even Investor Day, what they did last year, we're like, oh, so it's probably gonna be like that.
Yeah.
And it was just very more like a celebration of the streaming service to
Yeah.
get people to sign up to it and just show stuff. Hey, you want to watch these shows?
Yeah.
You better sign up. So
And I think that we're gonna have to start learning these lessons.
I
here
know,
as
right?
fans, but also as people in the media, because everybody's constantly looking for the next sensationalist thing
yeah.
to like push clicks and all this kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna have to start really roping it back and reducing expectations. And I think that might even be a part of what Kevin Feige was speaking to about Spider-Man
Yeah.
No Way Home. It's like everybody needs to temper their expectations, because I think just across fandom, we're all just
spoiled.
feeding off of each other.
We're spoiled.
Yeah,
Very
and
spoiled.
we're building these things up to a level that's just not really attainable per se, at least not sustainable consistently.
Plus, it's better when you're not expecting things
Yeah.
because, like, the whole Luke Skywalker thing,
Mhm.
although we were theorizing and stuff like that,
Sure.
it's still
I mean,
like,
that's what's part of the fun of fandom.
yeah, but I mean, isn't it better though when it totally sneaks up on you when
It
you're
is.
like, you're blindsided and you're like, what?
It is. For instance, like the 1997 X-Men.
Oh,
The
dude,
Return of
yeah,
that.
you were there when I saw it on my phone. I literally dropped my phone and like I had to walk around. I'm like, that was
Yeah.
because that was just out of nowhere.
Totally
it was like
unexpected.
no one knew that wasn't even a rumor. It
Yep.
just dropped it.
Yep.
So very cool.
So, well, so we got some things. And we all just need to chill out, I think.
So onward and upward, and please give me a Kenobi trailer, at least for Christmas, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe for Christmas.
Well, the really bright side is we've got a bunch of stuff to watch right now on Disney Plus.
There's no shortage.
There's no
of things to
shortage of
watch.
new content. Shang-Chi, I'm going to watch that again.
Dude,
And all the new docuseries they put out, the behind-the-scenes series, I'm going to watch all the crap out of all of that.
I still haven't watched Dune. I know. I still haven't
know.
watched Dune.
I don't understand what's happening.
You got
with that.
You got Red Notice.
Because I want to freaking talk about it. It was amazing, by the way. Dune is amazing.
Red Notice is now on Netflix. Dune is on HBO Max. There's Apple TV's got a new series called
Mhm.
Invasion. They also got a new series with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd called the Shrink Next Door or the Therapist Next
Yep.
Door. There's just so many shows that I'm trying. There's a bunch of animes. There is now you got the Boba Fett documentary. All the
Mhm.
There is no shortage of things to watch.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's coming out. Book of Boba Fett's coming out.
Although I will
Woo!
say, while I'm saying I'm going to watch the crap out of all these things, let's be honest.
Hmm.
I still haven't seen the Luke Skywalker.
I borderline want to get up and walk away. I just want to leave.
Still haven't
I
seen
just
the
wanna-
gallery on the Luke Skywalker
this
appearance.
man
on
has not watched the gallery episode that was released like over 2 months ago now. That literally the entire 45 minutes focuses on Luke Skywalker's return at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. That's the whole, literally, Favreau, Filoni, they even have glimpses of Mark Hamill's in there. Like, the whole episode is Luke Skywalker based, and you have not watched it yet.
It's true. It's true.
They reveal secrets of how they kept it a secret. They revealed how they
true.
told Mark Hamill. They revealed how they did the face
It's true.
swap. They revealed how they did the voice swap. Like, everything.
Yeah, it's true. And I okay. So guilty as charged, which is why I'm trying to be very transparent here. So while I'm saying I'm going to watch the crap out of these things, what I really mean is I want to watch the crap out of these things.
You know what?
But I have pretty much no time for
I'm
television
going to give you one
shows.
final tease. This is one final tease. Not a spoiler, but it's a tease to get you to freaking watch this thing. Because in order to get, Hamill up to speed, they freaking, Favreau and Filoni got the Grogu puppet, the real one from the show. They took it from set, drove it to Mark Hamill's house, knocked on the door, said, yo, Mark, Like meet Grogu, and then you then see footage of Hamill walking around the backyard with Baby Yoda, like it's a real thing. And they, you know, they did the robe and all that stuff, and they acted it out.
Dude.
You have to in Hamill's backyard. That's normal life for these people. It is normal life. It is normal life to be like, we got to go on the Disney set, get Grogu, then we got to drive our butts over to Mark Hamill's house, the Luke Skywalker, knock on the door, go over some scenes, have him hold Baby Yoda, Grogu. No big deal.
No bigs.
It's just a secret that's like, you know, that's going to be revealed to the mass audience in 2 years from now. So no big.
No bigs.
That's the life they live.
I really do have to watch that. And eventually, so I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to watch the Luke Skywalker episode behind the
I'm
scenes.
just going to text you, like, bombard you.
I'm going to watch that. And then I'm going to try my best to get to all these new ones because there's a lot of good stuff.
Because it was also very telling. It was also very telling. Not to go off on a tangent with this, but when they're interviewing Mark Hamill, where he's like, this is the Luke Skywalker audiences wanted. This is the Luke Skywalker that I always wanted to explore.
Joke.
And it was like that, like, poke, poke, poke. This is what they should have done with the new trilogy. Poke, poke, poke. This is my chance.
See, now you're really getting me.
This is my chance to like really redeem Luke Skywalker. He was saying it in a very nice way.
I gotta see that.
He was doing it very, you know, PC, but it was like, this is the Luke I always wanted to do. Wink, wink, wink.
Oh man. Okay, I gotta see that. I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
Dude, I'm telling. It's been waiting for you for like 3 months.
I know. I
think I'm gonna watch it again actually.
And I gotta watch it because we're gonna lean into. I only have so much time to fit in like stuff, and we've got the Hawkeye series that's about to start.
My wife, who you know is not a big nerd at all.
No.
Right? She doesn't like even sci-fi that much in general.
Not at all.
She watched it with me. How does that make you feel that she's seen it and you haven't?
Wow. That really makes me feel bad about myself.
All right. Point is, please watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
For the sake of the not even for me.
Watch it.
For them, Tim. For the sake of the variant nation.
I'm going to do it for all of you.
They need us to talk about it with spoilers.
The people. Like the Bane.
Oh, darkness is your ally.
now I'm just going to have all the quotes of that stuck in my head. But yeah, all right, so I'll watch that. And then one day I'm going to get to the rest of this stuff because again. Can
we just do a whole podcast mimicking Tom Hardy Bane?
Just the whole
thing. Welcome, Variant Nation. It sounds like a weird squawking bird. This is so bad.
What impression is happening?
Hello.
It's like a cartoon character of like Sherlock Holmes as Watson.
You think darkness is your ally? It's so bad.
Feel powerful, do you?
By the time I saw the light, I was already a man.
What is happening?
No, that is the worst impersonation ever.
Oh my God, so good. But you know what? That's Bane now. That is this show's Bane impersonation. We will never do another one. So my impersonation of Bane from here out will be Arris's impersonation of Bane.
It sounds like a dying squawking bird. On that note,
good stuff.
We'll see you guys next time when we talk about all things comics.